means to bestow a Buddha teaching. First, let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Zhengkong, homage to the 16 Dharma King Karmapa, and homage to Master Dukden Dorji, homage to the three jewels of the altar, and to the main deity of Homa today.
Om Ha Kamana Varaya So Ha. 敬礼宇宙
homage
西弥山顶
to the of the universe, Mount Sumeru's peak, Kalachakra Buddha. Kalachakra Buddha of the peak of Mount Sumeru of the universe. Simu Duten Siddhi Rinpoche and the Venerable Dehai, our Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, all disciples present here and over the internet, and our special guests today, the wife of Secretary General Daniel Liao, Dharma Sister Judy from the NACC, and accountant to the True Buddha Foundation, Dharma Sister Teresa and her husband Larry. And from Vietnam, the northern Haiphong city, the abbot of the Hai Tien Li Zhang Temple, Si Xubai, and his followers of 9 people. And from the True Buddha School Professors Group from Taiwan, National Dzogchen University, the professor in WE, the Special Professor Wang and family, Dr. Zhou Hong, Dr. Ryan Zhuang, and a doctor in philosophy, Lu Wenxiang. And from Arabs, the UAE, the president of the Royal Green Business Group, Miss Lin, and the PR director of Taiwan Li Zhang Temple, Dharma Brother Fermi Wang. Good afternoon, everyone. How do you do? Domo konnichiwa. Japanese.
Good afternoon. Ni hao, daga hao.
Cantonese. So today we had the Homa fire offering ceremony of Kalachakra. So we can refer to Kalachakra as the Kalachakra Buddha. And I have spoken a lot on Kalachakra Dharma including the 7 great Dharma of Kalachakra and the true Kalachakra Purva and the 9 stages of meditation practices and the fundamental meanings of Kalachakra and the Kalachakra Shield practice and the Kalachakra Sun and Moon practice and the Vajra chain uncommon practice and all the precepts. And they all have been transmitted at different countries around the world. So we could say it's been transmitted in Asia, America, Europe, Australia, and many other places. And in summary, Kalachakra in Tibetan Tantric Buddhism, Kalachakra is equally revered in all schools of Tibetan Tantrayana. And there are a few great lamas of Tibet that transmit Kalachakra, like the Dalai Lama, Panchen Lama, also the Gongtang Rinpoche, Kalu Rinpoche. So a few great Lama or masters or living Buddhas, Rinpoches that transmit Kalachakra. But of the Han Mandarin speak or people, I would be the only one, I suppose. So Kalachakra Dharma is very important because it can generate everything, but all the same it can deteriorate everything or destroy everything, because he is the wheel of time. Said that in terms of time, there is the so-called the past, and then the present and the future. So Kalachakra symbolizes time. So when time passes, it would be like what the Buddha said. So generation, abiding, deteriorating, and emptiness. So generating is the creation, abiding is the temporary existence, and then deterioration, and then finally emptiness. So Kalachakra also symbolizes these 4 stages of generation, abiding, deterioration, and emptiness. So it is connecting all the time, and it can eradicate all the afflictions completely. It can eradicate all the karma. Then you would be able to go to the Pure Land and moreover to become a Buddha. So that's the original meaning of Kalachakra. So it's the wheel of time turning to break down all the afflictions and karma to arrive at the empty nature and ultimately attain Buddhahood. So that's the original, the fundamental meaning of Kalachakra. There are 10 syllables in the mantra. Om Ha Kamala Valaya Soha. And these 10 syllables or characters contain or embody the meaning of Kalachakra. So everything in the universe is considered as the outer wheel, and inside our body is called the inner wheel, and combined together they would be called the special wheel. So if you can combine or harmonize the outer wheel with the inner wheel, then you would have the attainment of Kalachakra. It is very profound, but as we all know, he has symbols around him. He has 4 faces, and in my opinion, these 4 faces represent the 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. And the 3 necks, the 3 necks represent heavens, earth, and humanity or human. And 6 arms, meaning that there are 6 shoulders. In a day, there are 6 time periods, and 12 arms is the 12 months in 1 year. And then 24 hands is the 24 also time division. So we often say that auspiciousness in the day, auspiciousness at night, and auspiciousness around the clock. And may all be enveloped by auspiciousness. We pray to the Yidam to absorb, to be empowered by the Root Guru, and to be accompanied by the protector. This is the most important thing in our practice, Kalachakra. So if we gain spiritual response with the Yidam practice, and you go, when you arrive at the emptiness, only the Yidam would appear and gain spiritual response with you. Then you would become the Yidam. That means the Yidam would absorb you. That's how important it is. So if you have spiritual response, then you would be absorbed by the Yidam. And of course, you also need the blessings of the Root Guru. So by receiving the blessing once, your karma would be eradicated. And the protector, when the protector appears, then the protector would continually protect you and support you, so that you have no obstructions or obstacles by the Mara. As I said yesterday, the demonic obstructions is not from outside, but it's generated from your inside, from your mind. Because anything would become demonic obstructions. For example, jealousy or envy, they would become your affliction and obstructions. So if you're angry, or if you become aggressive, or if you are deluded or foolish, and you don't know how to cultivate spiritually, then that would become your affliction and obstructions. So they all would become your karma. So if you have doubts or proud, arrogance, you have the supremacy thinking, that they all would become your obstructions and affliction. So Mara occurs because of your own mind. So if you desire psychic abilities or transcendental power, actually they just occur naturally as part of your spiritual cultivation. It's not something that you strive for, or that you, if you have ambition for that, then the ghost would be attracted by your improper thought. Then the ghost would be attached to you, and you think that you have transcendental power, but actually it's because of the power of the ghost. Actually, this transcendental power could be mistaken as a mental disorder or problem. So psychic ability sometimes is very ambiguous. So Golden Mother once told me that if you have mental disorder, that all the brain, if the mental disorder has occurred for over 6 years, it would be impossible to help that person because the brain would have been destroyed. But if it is under 6 years, there's still hope. So if you're born in the lunar month of the 2nd month and the 11th month of the lunar calendar, and if you have mental problem, then it's impossible for you to be cured. So Golden Mother told me, there's no need, Golden Mother told me, there's no need to save them if they are born in the 2nd or 11th month of the lunar calendar. So they would think that they have psychic ability, but then at the end they would be in the mental hospital and they would be I'm not speaking Vietnamese, by the way, but they would be in the psychiatry. Sometimes they would be like this or that. So they're connecting with something. There are lots of jokes about the psychiatric hospital. So the head of the psychiatric ward asks a patient, "Why do you think you're a pope?" And he said, "Because God made me a pope." Another patient walking by, and he said, I never appoint you to be the Pope. So there are many people with psychic ability that eventually becomes mentally disturbed. They would think that they're the popes of the presidents or whatever. There was another joke. There was a patient that said that he is Jiang Jieshi, which is the president of Taiwan, the founder of Taiwan. And then there was another patient that came, they also said that he is also Jiang Jieshi, Chiang Kai-shek. So the doctor thought, oh, the two of them thought they're Chiang Kai-shek, so they put them in the same room. And the doctor was curious. You're Chiang Kai-shek, yes. And how about you? Oh, now I'm Madam Jiang. So they're very quiet together.
大家要小心哦，精神病啊，不是修行才会惹祸，不是修行才会的。你考试。
So this mental disorder or mental illness happens not only because of spiritual cultivation. Sometimes it's because failures in your exams or businesses or anything, and they lost their mind. And sometimes they would have double personalities. So if under normal condition you would know everything, like knowing about the heavens, the earth, and can travel, can hear, and then knowing about lives, past and future lives, and then the last one is that completely all the karma has been completely eradicated. So Kala Chakra Dharma is to eradicate all of your karma. Is then you can have the attainment and be reborn in the Shambhala Pure Land. That's about the Kala Chakra Dharma practice, the mantra. The mudra and the thumbs touching, this represents the time wheel, the wheel of time. And Kala Chakra has the form, like I said before, like this. You need to visualize Kala Chakra, recite his mantra, and form his mudra. And that would be the Yidam practice until you gain spiritual response. And then he would purify all your karma. In the Homa today, if you receive chakra enlightenment, that your karma would be decreased.
一般来讲，在十人金刚的灌顶当中，就等于帮你们还净。
So Kala Chakra empowerment is like purification. So things that's contaminated or polluted then would be purified. The first empowerment for Kala Chakra includes 7 empowerments: the vase empowerments, water empowerments, ribbon empowerments, the light empowerment, touch empowerment, and the permission empowerment. There are 7 empowerments together. So for the empowerment later, that would include the 7 empowerments.
很多的这个十人金刚还有所谓的其他的一种观点。
And Kala Chakra also has other empowerments that's rather secretive. So this can only be practiced. It is by the lineage root guru. There are many more empowerments. Why Grandmaster can transmit Kala Chakra and not by other people? Because you need to have a lineage. As I said before, my first lineage would come from the Kanchu living Buddha to Tupten Nima during the Qing dynasty. So Tupten Nima compiled all the tantric sutras. So from Kanchu to Tupten Nima to Tupten Tali to Tupten Tarji, which is my lineage root guru, and then to me. And my Dharma name was Tupten Chimo. So living Buddha Lien Seng Yen Lu. His Dharma name in the Tupten school is Tupten Chimo. That's why I'm allowed to transmit Kala Chakra. And the second lineage is from the Panjan Lama the ninth, transmitting Kala Chakra in Qinghai to Master Zheng Kong. Master Sakya Zheng Kong transmitted to living Buddha Lien Seng Yen Lu. That's the second lineage. So Panjan Lama the ninth in Yisu Qinghai transmitted Kala Chakra, and Master Sakya Zheng Kong received the empowerment and then transmitted to living Buddha Lien Seng Yen Lu. So, and the third lineage is the secret lineage in meditation. So, in meditation, you receive the appearance of Kala Chakra and empower you. So, in the most secret meditation, the Kala Chakra Dharma was transmitted, and that's the third kind of lineage. That's why I'm allowed to transmit Kala Chakra Dharma. There are recordings and CDs. So if you don't understand, or if you want to understand better or more details, you can check on the recordings. Now let's continue to talk on the Great Perfection Dharma. So the merits of Po Xian Tathagata are actually boundless and infinite. What I wrote here, the 10 merits, is like writing about just one grain of sand picked from a huge mountain, or like describing a drop of water while standing by the ocean. Hence, the merits of the primordial Buddha Po Xian Tathagata are really beyond words. Even when put into words, they are infinite. The Great Perfection Dharma is endless. You cannot finish talking about it. In the Nyingma Pa school, great perfection is considered to be the greatest Dharma, the highest Dharma. And I wrote about 10 merits, but actually more, because each of the merits are really magnificent, really great, and it is really hard to describe with words. Talking about big and small, so a prisoner that's been in the prison for a long time asked the new prisoner, "Why did you get in here?" And he replied, he hunted without illegally. So, and how long were you in prison? 12 years. So what happened? What did you hunt? An elephant? No. No, because I just put dynamite inside a pond, and all the fish died from it. And the old prisoner said, "What did you bomb? The whale? No. Why were you in prison 12 years?" Oh, because it was in a river that said no fishing. And I placed the dynamite inside the river, and they floated 3 penguins. And then only that was 12 years? No, and then 12 divers. So there were 12 divers inside the river. So that's the difference between big and small. Mosquito, that's killing. But would the judge imprison you? No. It's okay if you kill a mosquito, because it's common and accepted. It's very small. But if you kill a person, that's a big issue. So like Dr. Lu, that had been a judge, a prosecutor, an attorney, an inspector, he knows that if you kill a person, then you would lose your own life almost. But if you kill a mosquito, that would be a big difference. But a mosquito is also a living being, a human being too. Both have Buddha nature. But in although there are differentiations between big and small, but you still cannot kill. It's the first precept of the 5 basic precepts. Never kill. This is a really heavy. The Venerable Dehai, ever since in his teenage years until now in his 50s, he only eats vegetarian meals because he is passionate about all beings. but you cannot be too attached about it. There was an old monk in Thailand that had been vegetarian for 5 decades, and he got sick and had to have a blood transfusion in the hospital in order to have an operation, but he didn't want to because the blood is not vegetarian. And the doctor could just give an injection to him and continue to give the blood transfusion when he faints. So your own blood actually is not vegetarian, right? Even after you eat vegetarian meals. So what's most important is that your heart is vegetarian. So what it means is that your heart is very kind, very pure, you don't have much desires, you don't have many running thoughts, and you're a good person, and very benevolent, then that means you have a vegetarian heart. And with a good conscience, that means your heart is vegetarian. This is more important than eating vegetarian meals. It's more important to keep your heart vegetarian. There's a man, after being married for 25 years, is getting a divorce with his wife because the wife would throw plates at him every time she gets. And the friend said, well, you have endured it for 25 years. Why do you want to get divorced now? So, and then he said, I can't stand it any longer because now she's getting more and more accurate in her throwing. So in our study of Tantric Dharma practices, at first you're very foreign to it. And then after the second time you start to get familiar, and after the third time you would be incredible. So initially it seems foreign to you, but when you do it often, then you would be making progress. There are 4 important levels in Tantrayana. One is the Kriya Tantra, and then the Yoga Tantra, and then Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Anuttara Yoga Tantra. So from the Kriya Tantra all the way to the highest secret Yoga Tantra is a long distance. But if you first do the performance tantric practices, and then you enter into the Charya Tantra, which is the conduct yoga practices, and then you enter into the Yoga Tantra, and then to the highest Yoga Tantra, or the Anuttara Yoga Tantra. So what is the Kriya Tantra, or the performance Tantra? Because you're still a great distance from Tantra. And then the Charya Tantra, or the conduct tantric practices, is already above your head. The Tantra is above your head. And the Yoga Tantra, at first the deity is very far in Kriya Tantra. In Charya Tantra, the yidam is on top of your head. In Yoga Tantra, the yidam is one with you. And in Anuttara Yoga Tantra, start to generate Dharma power after you're merging with the deity and your karma is purified. Then that is the Anuttara Yoga Tantra. And in Great Perfection Dharma, it includes Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra, and Anuttara Yoga Tantra. So Great Perfection Dharma, most importantly, is about the Maha Yoga, representing Yoga Tantra, and Adi Yoga, representing the Anuttara Yoga Tantra, and Anu Yoga. And Anu Yoga is the Anuttara Yoga Tantra, and Adi Yoga is the Great Perfection Dharma, or Dzogchen. So Maha Yoga, Anu Yoga, and Adi Yoga in the Great Perfection Dharma, or Dzogchen. And the 9 stages of Great Perfection Dharma would include all of the Tantra practices. A couple prior to bed, the husband is reading newspaper in bed, and the wife asks, "I heard today that you have lots of girlfriends outside." Husband didn't say anything. And the wife kept asking, "How many girlfriends do you have now?" The husband didn't say anything. And the wife started to be very stern. So silence is agreeing, but I want to know how many. And the husband said, "Well, I'm counting, and because you're so noisy, I lost count." So this is about the stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to the Great Perfection Dharma. That's the 9 stages of Great Perfection Dharma. Grandmaster has 9 wives. Wow! What I said is about the 9 stages of Great Perfection Dharma. That in my spiritual cultivation, I started from level 1, the Sravakahood, Bodhisattvahood, and Buddhahood, Prateka Buddha, Sravakahood, Bodhisattvahood, Bodhisattvahood.
佛圣法有没有？应该不对吧？啊？哦，严结圣的哦，佛圣不在里面，因为佛圣是包括Buddha。这个声闻圣，这个严结圣、菩萨圣。
Prateka Buddhahood, Bodhisattvahood, and Kriya Tantra, Charya Tantra, Yoga Tantra. And then Maha Yoga, Anu Yoga, and Adi Yoga. 9 stages of Great Perfection Dharma, the same as 9 wives. That means it is perfect. So Great Perfection Dharma embodies all the tantric Dharma. Sometimes I make mistakes in my counting, then I have to restart. The same with that husband. He was counting, and halfway his wife kept nagging, and he lost count. There was a noble lady that's in the middle age asked Xiaoming, "How old do you think I am?" And Xiaoming replied, Your teeth look like you're 18. Your curly hair looks like you're 19. And well, can you correctly answer my age? Oh, and then something else, she looks like 20, so why don't you just add them up? In our Tantric Dharma studies, in Tibetan Tantrayana, it is said that prior to 20, you study the Mahayana Buddhism. And then 8 years studying Tantrayana. So only after 28 years old, you can become a Lama. Only then you would complete the foundation and you would be 28 years old. You need to study for 28 years. It's impossible for you to start studying Tantric Dharma before you're 10 years old, right? So, like Kalachakra too, you need to do your practice for many, many years, for a very long time before you have attainments. Grandmaster started at 26. 28 or 26?
How old?
26. So Grandmaster has studied Dharma for 2 years. Started taking refuge and started your study. Then you still have a long way to go. But most importantly, like spoken in the Kalachakra Dharma, you need to often pray to your Yidam to absorb you, to pray to your Root Guru to always bless you, and to your protector to always protect and support you. And you need to have a pure faith in order to have attainments. You cannot even slack a little bit. So smoking is prohibited in Tantrayana or for Tantric practitioners. Also, you cannot drink, you cannot smoke, you cannot drink alcohol, you can only drink water or tea. You cannot drink alcohol, you cannot smoke, because those would influence your body, your inner will. Smoker asked the doctor, please tell me frankly, and the doctor asked, what do you want to know? So is there like dark marks on my lungs? And the doctor said, no, I don't see anything. And the patient asked, really? And the doctor said, yeah, because they're all black. So please don't smoke. If you have an incense burner, like the horizontal incense, and you only lit one stick of incense every day, and then not even 1 year, take a look at the cover of the incense burner, it would be like really sticky and black, foul, salt on it. So think about it, you know, like when you smoke. never ever smoke, because smoking would block your channels. Because in the qi channels and light drops are very important. If you drink alcohol, you would numb yourself, and you also numb your channels, qi and light drops. If you smoke, it would block your channels, qi and light drops. So as tantric practitioners, please don't drink and don't smoke. Grandmaster never smokes. In the past, when Grandmaster was young, Grandmaster did drink, but not now. And I was a survey officer, and in order to get along with them, and they asked me to drink with them, and I started drinking, and I started to like drinking. You know, my water bottle, actually, they're filled with alcohol. So when you're thirsty, you drink, and my face is always red. So the survey officer, and when they're curious, and they want to know which one is the survey officer, and it must be the one with the red face, because my face is always red. And then why did I stop? Because the capillaries inside my eyes started to break. So the white part of the eyeball becomes red. So every time I drink alcohol, my eyes would be red. And it would take a long time before it get better. And then naturally, I stopped drinking because it looked really bad and I wanted to date. So I stopped drinking right away. And in all my life, I only smoked not even one cigarette. I was admitted to the military school, but my mom and dad did not allow me to go. So I said, okay, let me show you how I look really bad with the cigarette in my mouth. So I smoked that to show them, but that's the only time. So as a tantric practitioner, please remember, never drink or smoke. So there was a gentleman that was getting married, but he didn't buy any furniture. And the mom said, buy a small bed, not a big bed. And the man asked why. Because in the future, if you get married, after you get married, and you fight, then it would be easier to charm her when you're on a small bed. And the man said, oh, you're too naive. You think I would be on the bed if we fight? So what I'm trying to tell you is, don't get angry. It's not good to be angry. Once you lose your temper, when you have the temper, then your qi would be chaotic. Then your channels would be burned. And the fruition of your inner practices would be destroyed. So never, never get angry. So as a spiritual cultivator, you need to always be calm and at peace. Never lose your temper. Like yesterday, always be calm and relaxed and natural. Don't get angry. Don't lose temper. Once your temper is rising, your qi would be messy, chaotic, and the channels is very dangerous. Because your temper, you can do anything. Because your qi is not harmonized, and the qi is going all over, and then you have fire inside. It's a bad fire. Then you can do the unpredictable things. It would be bad. It's the same. It applies to a person, a family, or country. You need to keep yourself calm and maintain your temper, and always be calm, relaxed, and natural. And you need to transform it right away. So if you don't eradicate the fire of anger, then it would distract your own mind, and it would obstruct your spiritual cultivation. So the Great Perfection Dharma embraces everything, a lot of things. And Kalachakra Dharma teaches you how to eradicate your karma, how to be purified and attain Buddhahood. And the Great Perfection Dharma is all the same, that it would eradicate your greed, desire, anger, hatred, delusion, foolishness, hate, jealousy, envy, all eradicated. That's the same in Great Perfection Dharma, also to eradicate karma. 非常感谢